Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec podcast episode. You join me and my dad, and we're talking Volkswagen software, which typically is always a bad news story. But at least today we have a bit of a good news story. Dad, do you want to tell us what's going on?
Jumbo shrimp, military intelligence, Volkswagen software. I just think that this is an oxymoron. I apologize. I've owned three ID.4s, and I love the car. I love the environment. It's a happy car, makes you smile. But the software, there's been so many promises since 2021 that I appreciate you asking me to come on this episode, but I guess I'm going to be a little bit harsh and say I'm skeptical. I mean, simple things like plug and charge, which I know is not part of this new. Okay, no big deal. That's a bit of a tricky thing. But when you own Electrify America, and I know they're separate companies, you would think you would be able to at least do that, right? No. One pedal driving, that's part of this. Is that right?
No one pedal driving, just auto hold at a stop. Before we break it down, we can go through everything this adds, okay,
Yeah.
and talk about what the situation is a little bit higher level first. So Volkswagen ID.4 launched model year 2021 in America. We're talking about specifically American market, US spec, or I should say North American market spec ID.4. So we've had 3 model years now. We've had 2021, 2022, and 2023, each with differences. 2021 cars, primarily first editions, primarily rear wheel drives. I believe all wheel drive didn't launch until 2022. Both of those built in Germany and shipped over here to the US. 2023 are the new Chattanooga built cars, again, for our market. Excuse me, had to sneeze. And
I don't know what you're doing there. You're like doing the Heisman. Wait a minute. I need a towel here. I mean, that was like, okay. All right, I'm good now.
Okay, so the 2023 Chattanooga cars are what we're getting in America. And those are the ones to go for right now. I've said year end, you get the full tax credit, you get your state credit, and you're getting an awesome American built ID.4. We've done a lot with the Chattanooga cars now. I like the updates. They've had a styling refresh inside and outside. You get the newest software, you get newer wheels. Everything is just newer. And, honestly, friends of mine are buying these. So Colton's buying his. We just did an episode on that. Michaela just got her Chattanooga car. So if you have a 2022 on order, my recommendation is cancel it and go for the 2023. Faster charging, so many more things. Almost 200 kilowatt charging on that 2023. But if you rewind back to 2021, the car did 125 kilowatt charging, about 130 delivered from the charger.
I saw 131 once.
Yeah, exactly. And that's delivered from the charger. Yeah. But what's going in the battery is about 125. Mm-hmm. You had rear wheel drive only. I loved that car. Still do. Think it's awesome. You had 3 2021s or
no? I had a Pro, and that was a 2021 rear wheel drive. Best turning radius of any car I've ever owned, with maybe the exception of a Mini, right? And then I had another 2021 Pro S with the gradient, which was, I don't know, fancy, whatever. But Kyle, I used to be driving down the road and I would get like warning signals coming up that I don't even know what these warning signals were. It was almost embarrassing. There were so many software glitches with all 3 of the ones that I owned. I also owned I think it was a 2022 all-wheel drive. And
right, but you had issues with that one too. Anytime you go over 90 miles an hour, it would fault.
I so wanted that car to be clean from a software standpoint because I really loved it. The thing that threw me over the edge, though, and I know that this maybe has nothing to do with it, is the app. And I know you say, Dad, that doesn't have anything to do with the car. But to me, the user experience of I want to warm my car up on a cold morning, and I'm not joking when I say this, less than 50% of the time, it would just not engage. And so here I am driving I'm getting into a cold car. And it never got it to work when it was plugged in. Like if I'm on a level 1 or even a level 2, never did I get that app to work. So forgive me for being a little bit skeptical, because the overall car, the design, the drive, the quietness, everything about that car, I really loved. So you're getting me like excited again that this car is potentially cleaning up its act. Now, the software that's coming out, is that something that can be installed on a 2021?
Well, that's the story here. So it is not an improvement on the 2023 cars. Software 3.1, and for actually ID Buzz, software 3.2, those are shipping in production, ready to rock and roll. Okay, they're
Okay.
going. This is a brand new ground up modular platform from Volkswagen, which you think would have been future proofed launching in 2020 with the ID.3, right? Was it, or was it 2021? Can't remember. Software's been the major problem of this entire platform since the inception. And you would think they would build in over the air update capability. Tesla's been doing it since 2012. The Germans will tell you that was unsafe and hackers can get into those cars. Okay, but now other German OEs are doing this over the air thing. Volkswagen claims it's coming. The cars didn't launch with it. And it just seems like like you said, the cars are great, software total trash can garbage. Now, from a user experience side, where the menus are laid out and interacting with the screen, doesn't bother me actually all that much. I kind of like the software, but most reviewers hate it.
You know what,
so I'm in the minority.
I felt like the car felt like I was dumb. It didn't give me the information that I wanted. For example, I can't remember exactly. You have to refresh my memory, but whether it was state of charge, or if it was, you could only display certain things in very basic ways, and I wanted more. I wanted more data.
Well, this will help with it. This will help with it. So 2023 cars, the big news on those shipped with the newest software, leaving the older 2021 and 2022 cars behind in the dust. And basically, the new ones show you kilowatt charging speed. They give you all of your trip data on the screen, all the miles per kilowatt hour, trip travel, all that good stuff. They give you auto hold. They give you state of charge and miles remaining. Previously, it would only show you 10% and under. It would show up with the percentage. Otherwise, you'd have to go into the menu and go to the charging menu. A lot of different things, better travel assist functionality, a lot of small stuff. And the thing was, all the 2021 cars shipped with a lot of bugs. You mentioned you had software bugs in your cars. We've reported on Alyssa's mom's car having a ton of bugs, to the point where she's trying to lemon her car right now. Maybe this will be the saving grace for her vehicle. But what's interesting on the 2021s, they are replacing all the 12-volt batteries and updating the software. So they physically have to go to a dealer, make an appointment, swap the 12-volt battery, and get a big software package. And then they're equipped, hopefully, for more over-the-air functionality. Now, nowhere in this press release does it say that everything will be software updated over the air. And we know for sure that Volkswagen's not going to support these vehicles in the way that Tesla or Rivian or even Lucid do, for that matter, sending multiple updates over the air, keeping all the cars on the same software package and going around. So, let's put ourselves in the bubble of, we own an early ID.4. We know people who do that. You owned one. This is huge news if you own one of these cars, because you're getting up to the newest, latest, greatest software. You have to, very unfortunately, in my opinion, bring it to a dealership. I like that you're getting a new 12-volt. That just extends the life of it. So great.
Kyle, let me stop you right there. Is there some, why are they giving you a new 12-volt? Does it need an AGM battery or something? Why are they changing out the 12-volt?
We're not sure. The only thing I can think of is the 12 volts were either prematurely failing or sending maybe not a consistent voltage, sort of level, and it was freaking the cars out, causing more and more issues. The 2022 cars, they're claiming, don't need a 12 volt.
Don't need a 12 volt at all?
No, just a replacement.
Oh, don't need a replacement.
Yep.
Okay, I understand. You were taking it to a whole nother level there. I was like, wait a minute, no 12 volt at all?
Well, there's an argument where that.
I know, I get that. Too. Yeah, okay, fair enough. But I wonder, I'm always a little bit careful when it comes to these things, but if they need the car in the dealership to change out the 12 volt, and let's just say that the 12 volt battery, I mean, 12 volts is 12 volts, but the capacity and the ability to work in cold weather or different conditions, maybe they're realizing that that's where some of the faults are happening and it's causing the batteries to deteriorate faster than they should.
To
But
me, it's the least notable part of all of
but
this.
are they pulling the car in to upgrade some other component, hardware component that they're not necessarily telling you about? And that's why they need the cars in there.
Well, if they
Software-
did, they would have to provide a work order with it. So as soon as this starts happening, we would know legally they have to tell you what they do with your car. And so dealers will have to put that on there. I don't think there's anything nefarious going on here. I'm surprised they're actually so forthcoming about saying, hey, we're swapping 12 volts. You know, I think Volkswagen understands that they really screwed up here. They delivered a car on unfinished buggy software and then promised updates in a very short period of time and left all the owners hanging. I know so many people that bought this car on the promise that you're going to get a software package, you're going to get plug-in charge capability, and it's all going to happen at the end of last year, over a year ago. And here we are a year later talking about finally the first major upgrade for these cars, and it still doesn't include plug-in charge, which is ridiculous and a whole nother topic, and I just can't believe it. So my impression is, if you own a 2021, great news. Most of them have been having, I don't know most of them, I can't say that, but I know a lot of them have been having software bugs, needing to do resets, and just annoying things that I know people that have sold their car because of the bugs. You know, I'm one that I really like the car, and I would put up with some level of hassle software-wise to drive such a nice vehicle every day. But honestly, at some point, people's tolerances are different, of course.
Mhm.
The big news is for those people is, okay, we're getting on the newest software. The bad news is I just was driving Michaela's ID.4 on the newest software, and it's popping up with warnings everywhere, and it's got bugs. So I'm not so sure that this is even going to fix anything. She's got parking sensor issues. She's got airbag warning lights. It's a brand new Chattanooga car with 3.1 software, already throwing sensor malfunctions all over the place.
Consistency is a good thing. Usually, usually, right? You know, listen, it's I think their heart is in the right place. I can only imagine how difficult it is to bring out a brand new car and for everything to work and for it to, you know, work as smoothly as one would expect it to.
Dad, you're talking about Volkswagen Audi Group, one of the largest automakers on the planet, and Rivian is smoking their butts with software updates, new features, pet mode, you know, all of these things, great route planning. Think about 3 years after start of production, you don't even have plug-in charge on your own owned charging network, which is Electrify America. That's insanity, in my opinion, that this car doesn't have plug-in charge, because so many first-time EV buyers are buying ID.4s. Two, so many of them have no idea how to use an app or a full charging or whatever it is, but they just need ease of plugging in and unplugging. And that's the biggest shocker here. Now, in Europe, MEB cars do have plug-in charge with Ionity. I only got it to work once when I was there. So maybe it's a good thing we don't have it. That would just be more bugs. People plugging in, walking away, and their car doesn't actually start charging. The big things, you know, the big wants here are, these cars need plug and charge. I wish the older cars got software updated to charge as well as the Chattanooga cars. Almost 200 kilowatts, significantly faster charging. Great curve. If it's anything like the ID Buzz that I recently tested, that thing charges amazing. One of the world-class 0 to 100 charging cars I've ever tested, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it was like 48 minutes, 0 to full. I mean, it was really, really fine. No huge peaks, but just kind of e-tron just kind of set flat. It was great.
Right. What about preconditioning, battery preconditioning?
No preconditioning. I know, it's crazy.
I mean, come on. You know, last time I checked, I live in Connecticut. Okay. And while it was 58 degrees here today, next week it's going to be in the 20s. So what am I going to do? I'm going to pull into an EA on a cold battery after driving, you know, whatever is 30, 40, 50 miles, and I'm going to pull 45 kilowatts.
Yep. That is the experience that Volkswagen is still providing for these cars. And it's a shame, because it's such a good car from a suspension standpoint, from a comfort, from an NVH. It's really a well-built product.
So here's what I would say, Kyle. Away from the software bugginess, this is, in the cold weather, not a road tripper car. If you're just going to buy one to daily commute it, it's got great range.
Well, on a
right?
road trip, it's fine because once you warm it up, then you're good.
No, I get that. But what I'm saying is, like, for a daily driver, okay, if I'm going to talk to someone about the thing I liked about the ID.4 when you get into that car is it's just a car. It's not like you're driving something that's so new and different and like I guess Tesla-like is the best way to describe it. It's a car and it feels like a car. I loved, everything about like how you put it in gear, like an i3. And it was a very easy place to make a transition from someone who's never had an electric vehicle to having an electric vehicle. And it drove great and it was quiet and all of that. But to counterbalance that with some of the bugs that at least a lot of people, not everyone, are experiencing, it's just kind of sad. And then for them to make all this big noise about 3.1 and it being retroactive to a 2021 and Mikhail's car having all these issues, maybe that's a one-off, right? But man, did they deliver the car to the wrong person for it to be a one-off?
Actually, no, because there's someone else here in town who got the identical car as hers off the same delivery who has the same bugs as her car.
Again, they're consistent, Kyle. Okay.
Well, here's the thing, because we want to wrap this up. Volkswagen, the news is Volkswagen is going to get all of the cars up to 3.1. They're going to start with model year 2021 cars. They'll do the remaining 2022s, and the 2023s are already on there. Once they have a nice base load and they can get everything there, then hopefully their software division, Cariad, can start writing programs and deploying them to the entire fleet like the Tesla way. It's super unfortunate that they didn't have this set up from start of production on MEB. Even some of their combustion cars use the same head unit software. Golf R, for example, and others use this same software. It's not EV specific, but the whole thing should be set up for over-the-air capability. It's just a massive oversight that it's not, and a scary one, because this is the biggest problem Volkswagen faces and many car company faces, which is software. So to sort of wrap it up, which is ID.4 is a wonderful car, totally hampered by software. And it's just a shame because there's only a few things they need to add: battery preconditioning, better app connectivity, better route planning, even than what's being updated because it's not very good. And just a couple of these little tweaks, and it would be really
one-pedal driving.
Yeah,
that's more than 3.
Well,
right?
Okay, let's say there's a handful of items that are relatively small and like everyone's kind of doing them, and Volkswagen's just like, no, we don't want to do any of that. I don't know what they're doing. It's not hard stuff to do.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's Volkswagen. Aren't they the largest car manufacturer in the world, or one of them? I mean, they are, right?
Anymore, but one of them, yes.
Yeah. So look, I wish them nothing but the best of luck. The good news is it is a beautiful car. It is a great design. It's a super comfortable place to be.
Well, it's a good value.
What's that?
It's a great value.
It's a great value. So what's the cheapest ID.4 you can buy out of Chattanooga today? With all the tax credits?
Yeah, 30 something.
It's crazy
30.
cheap.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's a great car. And that's why Michaela went for it. That's why Colton's getting it for his wife, is because the car is amazing. If you're a car enthusiast, you will appreciate the ID.4 because it's built really well, in my opinion. And if you're just driving it around, you don't need preconditioning. You don't need all this stuff. So if it's your one and only car, not a very good choice. But if this is the secondary vehicle, sure, fine. Yeah. But I hope you have a Tesla in the garage too, because then you'll know what software is like.
Plus, don't forget what Kyle said the first time he drove the car. It makes me happy.
Yep. It's a pleasant vehicle.
Right? Makes me happy.
Yeah, it improves your day, or at least it improves mine. So thanks for watching another Out of Spec podcast. Subscribe to Out of Spec Dave's YouTube channel. And of course, let us know what you think about ID.4 software. Do you own one of these? Do you think this is enough? Do you think we should have plug-in charge? I do. And what the heck is going on over at Cariad at Volkswagen? What a truly major disaster this is, and this is just proof of it once more, although we are at least walking in the right direction 2 years after it should have happened. So any final thoughts, Dad?
I wish them the best of luck to get their act together and deliver something that just works, right? Clean, doesn't have to be fancy, just get it to be stable. Don't throw up all these icons on the screen that are like you need to put on sunglasses. Make it simple, make it work. It's a great car.
Yep. All right. We'll see you later on. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.